Hi guys, welcome to Miss Stack and Miss Molinari's flipped video classroom.
Right now you should be sitting in a quiet space, ready to learn our new lesson. You should have your packet that we handed out to you in class today.
So we're going to do Chapter 2, Lesson 2, Solving Two-Step Equations. So make sure you guys are following along in your packet.
You should be writing as we are writing. We will be checking your packets tomorrow.
So our essential question is, what is equivalence? That's what we're trying to figure out. What is equivalence?
We've been discussing balancing equations, so what we do to one side you have to do to the other.
So today we're going to learn how to identify the properties of equality and solve two-step equations.
So solving two-step equations. A two-step equation contains two operations. In the equation, 2x plus 3 equals 7, x is multiplied by 2, and then 3 is added. To solve two-step equations, undo each operation in reverse order.
So to solve this, you always need to undo the addition or subtraction before the multiplication. So you're using opposite operations. So for 2x plus 3, the 3 is the added. So we need to subtract it from each side. So we are left with 2x equals 4 because 7 minus 3 is 4. Now since the 2x is multiplying, we have to divide by 2 to find the x by itself. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so that is the answer that you are left with.
X equals 2. If we want to check it, we could plug in 2 for x. So where we see x in our equation, we have 2 times 2 plus 3, and we want to see if it equals 7. So multiplying out, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3, does that equal 7? And yes, 7 does equal 7.
It checks out. All right, another example. Solve 5y plus 1 equals 26.
So we want to get rid of addition first, so we're going to subtract a 1 from both sides. And we're left with 5y equals 25 because 26 minus 1 is 25.
Now we need to divide out our 5 since it's being multiplied with the y. So 5y divided by 5, it cancels the 5 out. 25 divided by 5, you're left with y equals 5.
Again, if we want to check it, we're going to plug in 5 for y into our original equation. So 5 times 5 plus 1, does that equal 26? So 5 times 5 is 25 plus 1. Now we want to check, is 25 plus 1 equal to 26?
Hopefully you do your addition right and you get that 26 is equal to 26 and it checks out. So do these problems to find out. Our first one, A, is 3x plus 2 equals 20. So our addition, we have to undo it. We subtract 2 from each side. We're left with 3x equals 18. Now we have to undo our multiplication by dividing. Divide your 3's out on each side. So you are left with x equals 6.
On B, it says 5 plus 2n equals negative 1, and then it says cut and paste. If you like seeing the variable first, you can rewrite this equation as 2n plus 5 equals negative 1. This is just a preference if you would like to rewrite it. Now you could subtract 5 from both sides to undo our addition. 5 minus 5 crosses out. We're left with 2n equals negative 6, because when we have the same sign, we add and keep. Now we're going to divide by 2. They cross out. N equals negative 6 divided by 2 is a negative 3.
All right, our example number 2. Solve 25 equals 1/4 n minus 3. Remember, cut and paste, you can rewrite it so it's set up normally. So we rewrote it as 1/4 n minus 3 equals 25. You undo your subtraction, so you add 3 to each side. So we are left with 1/4 n equals 28.
25 plus 3, we get 28. And now we see a fraction in front of our variable. So remember, we multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4 over 1. On the left, they're going to cross out. You're left with n. And now we can multiply straight across. 28 times 4. What is that going to give you? 112. On the bottom, 1 times 1 will give you 1. So 112 over 1 is just 112.
All All right, another example, -4 equals 1/3 z plus 2. So the 4 is written on the left side. We can switch it if we want to. So 1/3 z plus 2 equals -4. So what do we need to do first? We need to get rid of our addition, so we use subtraction. We're going to subtract the 2 on each side. And we are left with 1/3 z equals -6 because same signs, we are adding and keeping the sign.
Now we have 1/3 z equals -6. So we're back to a one-step equation. We want to get rid of that fraction, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, 3/1. What we do to one side, we do to the other. On the left, 3 times a third crosses off. We're left with z equals, on the right, -6 times 3 is a -18. And then over 1 times 1, and it just equals -18.
And if you guys want, you could plug that back into where we see the letter z to check your answer.
And note, you could pause anytime you would like here.
All right, so solve 6 minus 3x equals 21. You will need to rewrite this equation, plug in a sign buddy so we know that our 6 is positive. So we have 6 minus 3x equals 21. We're subtracting our 6 because it is positive, so we need to get rid of it. So we're subtracting. 6 is crossed out. We're left with -3x equals, what's 21 minus 6?
15. So now we're left with -3x equal to 15. So we want to divide by that -3. Don't forget your sign. 15 divided by -3, and x equals -5.
We divided by -3 because we don't want to be left with a negative x. We need a positive x.
So we have 8 minus 3x equals 14. Again, remember that 8 is a positive 8. So if we want to get rid of that positive 8, what are we going to do? We're going to subtract it.
What you do to one side, you have to do the other. So subtract 8 from each side, and you are left with -3x equals 6. And now, what do? We divide out our -3 from each side. 6 divided by -3 gets us what?
And we get a -2.
That's your final answer. If you want to check it, plug it in for where x is.
Okay, number 2, we have 16 equals 5x minus 9. So we can rewrite this first to make our equation on the left. Just switch our left and our right. So we're going to add a 9 to both sides. And we're left with -9 plus 9 crosses out. We're left with 5x equal to 16 plus 9, you get 25.
And now we're left with our one-step equation. We have to divide our 5 out on each side. And we're left with x is equal to 5.
Again, if you'd like to pause the video, you could plug in and check to see if this answer works out. Okay, number 3, we have 3 minus 8c equals 35. Remember, that 3 has a sign buddy of a positive number. It's a positive 3. So if we want to get rid of that, we have to subtract a 3 from both sides.
So we get left with -8c equals 32.
Remember, you want to keep that in -8 because subtracting an 8 is the same as -8. So -8c equals 32.
What do we do next? We divide by -8 because we need to get the c all by itself. You want to find the letter all by itself. So -8 divided by -8 crosses out. C is equal to -4.
All right, number 4, we have -1/2 x minus 7 equals -11. So I see subtraction there. I want to get rid of that and add a 7 to both sides.
So once we do that, our 7's cross out. We're left with -1/2 x is equal to, it's different signs subtract, so our answer is going to be, -4.
Sorry, that equal sign didn't turn out right. So -1/2 x equals -4. We want to get rid of that -1/2. We multiply by the reciprocal, which is -2/1. We do it to both sides. On the left, they're crossing out, so we're left with x. And now we're going to multiply out straight across on the right. Negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8. Negative times negative is positive. So x is equal to 8. Number 5. 15 minus w over 4 equals 28.
We subtract our 15s out first. Get rid of your addition. Make it subtraction. We're left with negative w over 4 equals 13. What do we have to do now? We have divided by 4. Negative w divided by 4. We're going to multiply. Negative 4 over 1 on each side. So what's 13 times negative 4? A negative times a positive. You know your answer is going to be negative. Our 4's cross out. We're left with w is equal to negative 52 over 2. You're not done yet. You need to simplify.
Wait. That was a
mistake.
Typo. 1 times 1 is 1. So it's negative 52 divided by 1, which is negative 52.
If you ever question your answers, plug them back into the equation to check them. All right.
This equation you're going to solve on your own and bring it back with you tomorrow with the rest of your packet. This problem has to be done.
Goodbye.